It's a great 3-game winning streak for Carolina, but got to take care of business in Boston before getting some sweet revenge against the Wolfpack.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, November 22nd, 2024. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade, joined by our good buddy, Denora Searcy, and you're joining us at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Searcy's still reveling in his Bills, making the Chiefs undefeated and making the 71 Dolphins, whatever, whoever it is, very, very happy. Thanks for making us your first listen or watch on this Friday morning. Special shout out to all of you everydayers who are joining us, as well as all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord and Locked On Tar Heels Insiders. This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Quick peek behind the curtain. On Friday, I'm literally right now, as you literally two are watching this, on my way out to a quick Thanksgiving trip with my wife and some friends. So Denoris and I actually recorded this earlier in the week, Tuesday evening, actually. So if there's anything crazy that has happened between then and now when you're watching or listening to this, that's why. And that's why we don't talk about it. So here's what you need to know about today. There's also a full basketball show where we're talking about Carolina's game at Hawaii tonight, which is actually going to be tipping off Saturday Eastern time. It'll be 12:30 a.m. Plus the women's battle for Atlantis preview. So you can check all that out on the other show. As for this one, Denoris and I are going to talk about big storylines for this game at Boston College, including their weird, wacky quarterback situation, or what to watch for as we do every week. We'll have game predictions for you, and of course, the rest of the weekend whip around. All that coming up today. Going to be a lot of fun. Denoris, we talked about this a little bit last week, but here's where I want to start. We talked about fixing the home stretch of the previous two seasons where Carolina has just frankly choked, right? If we're being honest. But they got off to a good start with it last week, just kind of holding on against Wake Forest. It wasn't an impressive win, but you know what it was? A win, right? And so trying to change that narrative of the last 2 years. Great start last week. But now, if you want to keep it going, you have to win this game at BC, right?
Absolutely, man. Every game counts. We became bowl eligible last week, but let's get to 7 wins, man. The more wins you get, the better bowl games you get to go to. So we can't overlook Boston College. They're a competitive team. They beat Florida State earlier this year. I mean, we beat Florida State too. It took us a minute to open up on them, but BC is a formidable opponent, and with guys on that team that's capable of making plays. Carolina's going to be going up against one of their former teammates, Kamari Morales. So I know he's looking to get back against his former team and whatnot. I think he didn't like how his playing time diminished last year with Carolina. That's probably an example why he jumped in the portal. But he's looking to prove that he can still get it done and he can play at a high level. So I know he's going to be chomping at the bit to get back at his team. But yeah, Carolina needs to win this so we can get a better bowl game for sure.
Yeah, let's make sure that doesn't happen. Absolutely. All the love in the world to Kamari Morales, but time to go shut him down. Now, Denoris, you said it there. You're talking about Carolina now bowl eligible, and you kind of got into it a little bit there, but I want to ask you to go a little bit deeper. Like, what is the driving force and factor now? Like, as you think ahead to this of winning, obviously, like NC State sells itself, right? Like you ain't got to do nothing to motivate that game. But what's the big motivation in this game?
It's a chance for another win. Like again, with the team is rolling. I don't think they want any letdowns. They want to keep continue to push. They dedicate the rest of their season to Ty Lee, so I don't think they want to let his memory go in vain. So that's added motivation for this team, and it's a good motivation. Again, guys still have something to play for. We have guys that are still have dreams, aspirations of possibly playing at next level, so they still have opportunity to showcase their talents and their skills. So the more games you get to continue to keep playing, the better. Get this win, move on next week to NC State, get that win, and then we see where the chips fall with a bowl game, see who who we match up against come bowl season, and then go out there and finish strong. It'd be good to win out for the rest of this season. It'll look good for our team going into the offseason for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And I tell you what, man, gotta win a bowl this year. 4-game bowl losing streak. They've made one every year, Mac Brown 2.0, but only one in that first year with Mac Brown back. And man, it's time to change that narrative. And so we'll see what happens.
Absolutely.
Denoris, as you said, Boston College is a formidable team. We'll talk about the quarterback situation in a minute. But that said, I could see a world in which this is not a trap game. I don't want to define it as that, but there is a possibility of looking ahead a little bit. You got Thanksgiving next week, and then you're thinking about, man, I want to beat NC State, get some revenge. How do you, either as a player or as a coach, make that happen and not do that looking ahead?
Just understanding the task at hand. They're going to Boston. It's hostile environment. The weather is going to be a lot different from playing down here in Chapel Hill for sure. So yeah, you gotta go up there and be focused, man. You're gonna go up there and play against a team that's used to those harsh conditions, and they're looking to get back on track and get a win as well. So yeah, you can't overlook them. I know, the holidays is coming up next week with Thanksgiving and your in-state rival NC State, but what better way to go in ready for NC State with a win? You get to fine-tune and straighten up some things that you may need fixing before that NC State game. You get to experience with them and correct them during the Boston College game, and you get to throw some, maybe throw some new wrinkles in here or there that you may get to use next week against NC State. But
I like that.
But but definitely can't look past them. We don't came too far with this win streak after the tough middle of the season. So let's not let up, man. Let's keep our foot on that throttle and get this win.
That's a good word. Speaking of the weather, man, I've been worried about the weather for this game all season long. And I've finally now, literally, as we're talking about it, looking, it's actually not going to be that bad. High of 52, low of 41, although they are expecting some showers in the AM. So could be much worse up there, dude. It could be snowing or something like that. So not too bad when it's all said and done. Look, it has been a really interesting year for Boston College. They're 5-5 right now, 2-4 in the ACC. Bill O'Brien in his first year at the helm. I'm sure folks most remember him from that tenure as the head coach of the Texans. But after they started the season by beating Florida State at Florida State, right, I think a lot of us were like, oh, maybe Boston College is something. But then we learned that Florida State sucks, right? And so it's that wasn't as impressive. But they won 4 of their first 5, the only loss being at that point, number 6 Mizzou. And so you're like, okay, maybe BC's something. But since then, sirs, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games at UVA, at Virginia Tech, versus Louisville, and at SMU. Very understandable. Last week, the one win was against Syracuse. So it's kind of hard to know what to expect, especially because of the weird Thomas Castellanos situation where he was hurt, got benched, quit on his team, has declared his intention to enter the transfer portal, and now we're dealing with a new quarterback in Grayson James, who started the Western Kentucky game earlier this season, finished off that Syracuse game, but then was the starter last week at SMU. What does that do? Put your Boston College hat on. What does that do for your team morale if you're Bill O'Brien and the Eagles?
Well, for Bill O'Brien, people forget he was also the QB coach for the Patriots, so he got to work with Tom Brady a lot. So he's used to being around greatness, but he's also used to handling distractions. And with this situation with the QB jumping in the transfer portal, it could have caused a distraction. Guys on the team, you got your top receivers and guys like that was looking forward to playing with this guy. Then all of a sudden he was underperforming, and he got hurt. And then when he came back, he was still underperforming, and then they ended up benching him. And then, like you said, he ended up quitting on his team. So now guys may look at him different. Man, I came here to play with this guy, and he's not living up to the promise of being the guy for us and the quarterback for us. They was kind of comparing him to Cam Ward after the Florida State game. Type of play he was doing, but he kind of hit filter off throughout the season. So and with him again going back to him jumping in the portal, guys can see that as a letdown. You quit on us. You're supposed to be here with us. Now all of a sudden you're not getting your way. You want to leave. So it could be a distraction. That could be part of the reason why the team is doing has filtered out and has lost 4 of the last 5 games, because guys aren't as confident or not as confident as in the quarterback, but it's hey, if our own QB will quit, man, like anything is possible. So guys are probably getting out of there too. They're probably planning to jump in the portal as well. Like we don't have a quarterback, so I'm gonna play out the rest of this season. Then I'm gonna see where else I can go play and make a name for myself. So that's probably the main reason for the skid for sure. But man, who knows though?
It's a mess. And look, they lost at SMU last week, but they played tough. They looked good with Grayson James at the helm. Like when he came into that Syracuse game, they were losing 3 straight touchdown drives. They ended up winning that game. Again, lost at SMU last week, but they were competitive. As for Grayson James, he's not much of a runner, so you don't got to worry about that too much. But he can sling it around a little bit. We'll see what happens. Like last week at SMU, he was 18 of 32 for 237, 1 TD, 1 pick. But ultimately, I think in a lot of ways, BC offensively is going to look a lot like what the Tar Heels do. They're going to try to lean on their running attack with Robichaux. It's funny because Castellanos has the second most rush attempts on the team. This guy that's not even playing. Right. And then they got a mix of a couple other backs. So I think that's going to be the key there. And so we'll see what happens with that. Search, one other quick thing as we get out of here. You mentioned Kamari Morales. Interestingly, it sounds like Bryson Nesbitt is close to getting back and maybe being able to play. We're waiting to hear word on that. We don't know for sure. It might be a thing like Kamen Rucker where he just kind of ramps up. Maybe he's able to be back for NC State, maybe a bowl game, maybe not though, as he sits out for NFL prep. We'll have to wait and see on that, sir. Anything else on BC before we go to what to watch for?
That's pretty much it. I mean, it's still a tough opponent. I remember I played it the 2 times I played against Boston College when I was in college. When I was in school, it was the 08 season and the 09 season. They came to us my sophomore year, which they had the number one. That year, they had the number 1 defense in the ACC. That's where they had guys like B.J. Raji, Mark Herzlich. And then the next year in 09, that's when Luke Kuechly and all those guys came.
Remember those, man.
Yeah, so they always had a tough defense. So you never could count them out. You just got to go out. You got to go out there and beat them. You got to line up and play. That's why I say you can't go out there and this can't be a trap game. You got to go out there and play hard no matter what. I always saw it. If they in the ACC and they put them helmets on. If you put the helmets on in general, I'm trying to beat you. But if you're in the same conference with us, it don't matter what your record is. You still have a chance to beat us, and I don't want to lose. So I'm always coming with my A game for sure.
That's right. And there was also right around in there where a certain quarterback from Boston College came down to our neck of the woods and played for the Dirty Birds, Mr. Matty Ice. And so
so they always had a nice squad, man. So you can't take them lightly. They'll come and punch you in the mouth if you let them for sure.
All right. Well, who else can punch somebody in the mouth is Mr. Omarion Hampton. And look, he's on an absolute tear right now. Can he keep it up? Also, touchdowns are not just coming from the offense right now. Carolina is finding different ways to score touchdowns in addition to the offense. Will that trend continue? We're going to get into that and more coming up in just a second in our What to Watch For. Right after I tell you about Prize Picks, which is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everybody. All you have to do is pick more or less on at least 2 players given stat for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. So run your game all season long at Prize Picks. I'm grateful that Prize Picks puts their members first. For example, all withdrawals, man, they're safe, they're fast and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my winnings in as fast as 15 minutes. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't have to win to get the bonus. It's guaranteed for you. How about a more or less that I'm looking at this week? Well, we haven't seen them yet for Saturday, but I'll tell you this. When this weekend's opportunities come out, whatever Omarion Hampton's rushing total is, I am guaranteed to take the more on that. Maybe you want to get in on that or anything else. Go check it all out at Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, gang, it's time to get to our what to watch for this game where Searcy and I hit you with 4 things that we are specifically watching for that we think will be critical in Carolina winning this game and coming back 7-4 on the season. And man, that would be a great feeling, guaranteed to be playing above 500 football. Searcy, why don't you kick us off as always? What to watch for point number 1?
What to watch for point number one is, can Omarion continue his dominance this season? So far, he has 1,400 yards rushing. He's averaging 130 plus yards per game. He has, which is first in the conference. He's first in rushing in the conference, and he's first in touchdowns with 14 at the moment. So I believe he can. He's proven that he can be a dominant running back, man. He's shown that he can carry the load. 34 carries last week is insane. I think
was a career high in carries, by the way.
Oh my God, I think the most carries I ever had in high school was like 28. And I was hurting the next day. So man, I get that type of pounding, man. But he's shown that he's durable. He can handle it. Right now, I think he's fourth on the all-time rushing list.
He's fifth career right now.
Fifth career. Okay, got you.
Fourth single season, fifth career.
Okay, fourth single season. Okay, and then he's on pace to have two of the top five rushing performances in Carolina history. So, man, I hope he gets it, man. Like, because the guys like Amos Lawrence, I wasn't allowed to see that. Mike Vogt, I wasn't allowed to see that. Leon Johnson, I wasn't allowed to see that. Saw a little bit of Michael Carter, but to be able to witness Omarion Hampton from the time he got out the car getting dropped off from getting recruited to what he has accomplished now, to be able to witness that live is amazing. I'm glad I'm here for it. I wish him the best. I hope he go out there and get that all-time rushing record for the season in Carolina history, and I hope he could get to a point where he can become an all-time leading rusher for sure.
Man, yeah, I mean, it seems very plausible, even without a bowl game, that he will pass Don McCauley for the single season record. Basically, just needs to average 150 yards. Just average 150 yards.
Right.
But for him, like, seriously, like, that's a very tangible thing, and it's wild to think
Absolutely.
about. And look, it's probably out of reach to get to first or second in career, but very doable to get to third. And so, man, it's just crazy to think about. This dude's probably going to wind up, when it's all said and done, having two of the top three single season rushing seasons in Carolina history, going for 9 straight 100-yard games. On Saturday, 10. I mean, would have. It's just insane. Would have 10 out of 11 100-yard rushing games this season. Sirs, crazy stuff.
Right, absolutely. Only guy he done rushed for 100 was the UNC Charlotte, but we didn't. I mean, but I get it. They pulled him out so they could save him, and then Goss went for 100. So
exactly.
obviously, Omarion would have had 100 too. He would have kept playing. But
I think he had like 70 when they pulled him in the first half already.
Exactly.
So
he definitely was on pace to have at least 200 against UNC Charlotte. But I hope to see him do it, man. Like that'll be that'd be an amazing feat, and it'd be good for the program for sure. Because other running backs will see that and they'll know, like, when they run the ball at Carolina. So if I could be as dominant as Omarion, I'm gonna get the ball and I get to make an impact like that. They'll love to come there for sure.
And it's what's nice is it's not just Omarion. I mean, you just mentioned Mike Carter, and you think about Javonte Williams, and you think about Ty Chandler, who's doing some good work, you know,
right.
And so
Bernard, who's there a few years back. Yes, absolutely.
And I tell you what, man, I'm excited to see Goss as the featured back when it's his turn, man. He's a dude as well. So lots of good stuff there. Sirs, what to watch for point number 2 from me? It's all about that defense, right? In Carolina's wins, Sirs, how about this? Opponents are scoring just 16 points a game. In the losses, opponents are scoring 41.5 points a game. Even if you take out the 70 points of the James Madison game, in Carolina's other 3 losses, opponents are averaging 32 points a game, which is double the amount of wins. It's all about stopping that. And for me against Boston College, it's going to be about stopping the run. Make Grayson James beat you with his arm. Don't let these running backs do it, which I know is going to be Boston College's thing, is don't let Omarion Hampton beat you. So much easier said than done, right? But that's what we'll watch for. But, man, the defense has been doing it in a bunch of different ways. Like, they didn't have as many sacks this week, just 2 after 17 combined in the previous 2 games. Yeah. They had these other takeaways, right? Like the forced fumble from Travis Shaw, the 2 picks, which that one by Marcus Allen was wild, dude. Wow. Like, how good grief.
And then Powell another pick in the points is for sure. Yeah, that's big. When you can turn points, I mean, we can turn turnovers into points without the offense getting on the field, man. That's another phase of the game that helps you win. If you can score in all 3 phases, you have a great shot at winning the game for sure.
Dude, that's a good word. So we're going to be watching for what the defense can do. And I didn't realize this, Sirs, till I was preparing for the show. Somehow I missed it. In each of the last 3 games, the Tar Heels have 2 picks. And, man, it's just like ending opponents' drives like that is so big time and so killer. So we'll see if they can keep doing it.
Turnovers. I preach it every week. Sacks and turnovers, man.
All right, Search, what to watch for? Point number 3. Hit it.
My what to watch for point number 3 is we need some more receivers to step up. JJ Jones had a good game. He scored against Wake Forest. With the possibility of getting Nesbitt back and still the younger guys getting in to get a chance to play. I want to see some more receivers come in and make an impact. They give Jacoby some more targets to throw to, some more guys that he's confident in to get the ball to. So I want to see some more receivers step up and help Jacoby and JJ out on the outside and in the slot. We got to get Nate more involved. A couple times he had got his hands on the ball. He did good, so we got to get the ball in his hands some more.
Yeah, that's a good word. Speaking of which, we don't yet know who's going to be wearing number 13 on Saturday, but as always, we'll keep our eyes out for that. First, what to watch for, point number 4. It's kind of sticking with the defense here, but it's kind of defense / special teams. And here's what I mean. Will we see another game-changing play this week? Sirs, in 4 of the last 5 games, the Tar Heels have had a touchdown from somewhere other than the offense. In 5 of the last 7 games, the Tar Heels have had a touchdown from somewhere other than the offense. Against James Madison, it was the Goss block punt touchdown return. Right. And then against Pittsburgh, Caleb Koss pick 6. Against Georgia Tech, Elijah Hussey's punt return touchdown. Against Virginia, that ridiculous pick 6 from Javari Ritzy. And then obviously the pick 6 this past week from Power Eccles was great stuff there. So, that along with what we just said about 2 interceptions in each of the last 3 games, 19 sacks in each of the last 3 games. Who's it going to be this week, sirs? That's what we're watching for and what we're hoping to see.
That's the best thing. The best thing about those stats that you read off, it was a different guy every time. So we don't know who can make the impact. And then again, he scored on defense, he scored on special teams, and we already scored on offense. So man, like I was always told, like, man, if you score on 2 out of 3 phases of the game, you got a good chance of winning. But if you're scoring on all 3 phases, your chances of winning goes up tremendously because each phase is making that much of an impact, and each phase is putting points on the board. So that decreases your chance of winning. So I mean, I want to see somebody else get involved this week as well. Like it's been somebody different every week, so let's keep it going, man. Let everybody gets a chance to eat, and I like it. Coach Collins has got those guys rolling on defense. I saw every time they get a pick, he got to do turnover. He got to do push-ups on the sideline. So
that's great.
Let's get Coach Collins strong on the sideline, man. Let's continue to get our hands on the football these last 2 weeks of the season for sure.
I need a Cayman Rucker strip sack, and Bo Atkinson picks it up and runs it to the house. How about that? Let's see that happen.
I want to see Travis Shaw pick it up and rumble down.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. A sack fumble by Cayman Rucker or Bo Atkins or Des Evans, because Trav covered the fumble last week, but I want to see him scoop one up and get in the end zone. I want to see another big man score, man. That'd be awesome.
Oh, big man scoop and score. I'm here for that action. Honestly, though,
the reason I say that because we had a big man scoop and score in 2009 when we went up there and played against them. Big Cam, Robert Quinn got the sack fumble.
Yes.
Cam Thomas picked the fumble up and scored on Boston College. Big defensive tackle, 6'3", 335. So I want to see another big man get into the end zone. It was amazing. So that's why I say Travis Shaw. I got a feeling it's gonna happen.
I love it. I love that. Full circle, baby. Bring it on.
Right,
all right.
Absolutely.
Folks, believe it or not, Carolina is actually favored in this game on the road, according to our friends at FanDuel. So Searcy and I are going to make our game predictions and give you the weekend whip around. We got some Final Four action for field hockey coming up. We'll get to all of that in just a second. Right after I tell you about ZBiotics. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by a PhD scientist to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in your gut. It's that byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough day the next day. What pre-alcohol does is produces an enzyme to break that byproduct down. So just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and then, folks, you're going to feel your best the next day. But, man, stay hydrated, be smart, but do all this. Drink pre-alcohol and make it your first drink of the night. If you want to get more of this, check it out. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnCollege to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use Locked On College at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege at checkout for 15% off. This episode is also brought to you by our good friends at FanDuel, man, one of our long-standing sponsors here on the show. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app, man, it gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. As I said, Carolina favored in this game, 2.5 at Boston College. We'll see if they can cover that spread. Also, there's lines for the Maui Invitational next week. That'd be fun to check out as well. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. Never waste a hunch and go make every moment more with FanDuel. It's an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, so it's time to get to some predictions. Carolina at Boston College, Saturday, tomorrow, November 23rd, noon Eastern time in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts at Alumni Stadium. Unfortunately, Searcy, back to the CW for this game. So, folks, good luck finding that. It's just like True TV during March Madness. FanDuel line, we just said it, but Tar Heels favored by 2.5. Searcy, Carolina is 6-2 all time against BC, including having won the last 5 in a row. Searcy, give me your prediction for this bad boy.
I was part of those. I got 2 of those 6 wins against
Yes,
Boston.
sir, you did.
Yes.
Thank
you. My game predictions score for this game, man. I got Carolina 28-14, winning by 2 scores for sure.
I like that. We touched on it earlier. It seems like, I know they played well and competitively last week against SMU, but I feel like the win's got to be out of your sails a little bit the way this back half of the season's gone for them, plus losing Castellanos. And they, though, there's going to be some urgency because they need to win one of their final 2 games to get to bowl eligibility. It's Carolina and then Pittsburgh next week. So it's like, I feel like they're going to be pretty desperate to get this win. That said, give me Carolina to win 31-21 in this thing to win and cover that spread.
Nice. 31-21. Okay.
I like it. That might be a little much on the Carolina points, but look, Tar Heels getting to 30 and holding another team close to 20. I'm here for that.
Absolutely.
Weekend whip around. Let's get to this thing. Women's basketball has Battle for Atlantis this weekend. We're actually going to do a preview for that on the full basketball show today, so you can go check that out there. I mentioned it earlier. Searcy field hockey Final Four. It's like an annual tradition. Put the party down. This year it's in Ann Arbor. Unfortunately, it's not in Chapel Hill like it was last year. That was awesome. Semis are today against the 4th seed, or not 4th, like the national 4th seed St. Joe's. That's at noon Eastern on ESPN Plus. Should the Tar Heels be so fortunate to win, which they're going to, by the way, the championship is on Sunday against either Northwestern, who it's Northwestern and Carolina, or UMass, who's upset a couple teams. Time for that is TBA, but it'll be on ESPNU. Searcy, it's time to bring home another national championship, my friend, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. I feel hockey team is rolling for sure. They got to keep that thing going. I like the fact that our coaches fresh out of college and continue that tradition over there, man. I wish it was a Chapel Hill again so I could go and support again, man. It was a blast. But that was a blast for me to experience a national championship game like that, and then be in our home campus. It was amazing to see like everybody go crazy. I went crazy. I never thought it'd be a day I'd be going crazy with field hockey, but I was just going crazy in general because our school won another national title.
Right.
So
that overtime, that shootout, man, it was crazy.
Absolutely. That shootout reminded me of D2 Mighty Ducks when they had to shoot out for the goal. Yeah, I like that. Instead of winning the goal,
that's like our childhood right there, sir.
Right. Instead of winning the goal, we won a national title though. So
that's right.
It was great, man. So root for field hockey. Well, I root for anything Carolina. So, but knowing that field hockey is in the Final Four with another opportunity to bring home another national title, let's go, man. Go Heels.
Man, I love that. And Carolina has blanked their opponents so far in the NCAA tournament, 7-0 combined. One of those, of course, is the Duke Blue Devils. That game was 3-0 Tar Heels. Always nice to knock off the little homies down in Cameron, in Durham, excuse me. All right, soccer teams getting in action again this week in their NCAA tournaments. The men have their first round. That was actually yesterday on Thursday. So you already know what happened there. Carolina was playing Furman. If they won, they're going to move on to face 13 seed Marshall Sunday at 2 p.m. Again, you already know what happened by the time you're listening to or watching this. Women's soccer, though, today in the second round, the Tar Heels play Santa Clara at Dorrance Field. 4:30 Eastern on ESPN Plus. The winner of that moves on to face either the 3rd seed South Carolina or 6th seed Minnesota on Sunday, also at Dorrance Field. So good stuff there. As for volleyball, they're hosting the California ACC teams this weekend. Cal's coming in today, Friday, 7 Eastern time. And then Sunday, we'll face number 7 seed Stanford at noon on ACC Network. Sirs, we got another national championship action this weekend. Tar Heels just always doing this. Tomorrow, Saturday, November 23rd, up in Madison, Wisconsin on ESPNU is the cross country national championships. Women race at 10:20, men at 11 a.m. Right, that's a.m. folks, not p.m. No worries there. Last year the women weren't in it, so great for them to make it. Last year, the men finished 6th out of 31. It was their 2nd straight top 10 finish, so they'll be going for 3 in a row. And Parker Wolf, our bro that almost made the Olympics last year, just didn't have that qualifying time, finished 9th last year. He's looking to build on that and last year he became the first 3-time All-American cross-country person in Carolina history. So obviously a 4th would be absolutely unprecedented. Sirs, what do you hope for there, man?
Nice, man. Congrats to him, man. I hope he gets it. I hope he gets that 4th straight All-American. That'll be good. But like I said, I'm always anything Carolina, man. And the fact that we have both men's and women's with opportunity to not only finish in the top ranking, but also have a shot at the national title for cross country. Hey, man, keep bringing them to Chapel Hill, man. It makes us look good. So I'm always rooting. Let's go Heels, man.
Yes. A couple more wrestling off this weekend, back in action on Monday. Swimming and diving is up and going now. Diving will be at the SMU Invitational. That started Wednesday. It wraps today. And then swimming is at South Carolina Invitational. It started yesterday, goes through tomorrow, Saturday. And then tennis. Actually, Searcy, I hadn't realized this. Tennis has made a change. It used to be the team national championship and then followed by singles and doubles national championships all in the spring. They've switched it now when we get doubles and singles going on. Right now, it's a 2-year pilot program. That all started earlier in the week, so it's probably already wrapped up, folks, by the time you're watching and listening to this. There were multiple Tar Heels involved in it, but obviously we're not going to speculate on it because you already know what happened, and we don't as we record this on Tuesday night. But, man, just great to see Tar Heels on these national stages all the time doing good work. Sirs, any final words on any of these Tar Heels or the football game for Saturday and what needs to happen?
For all these rest of these sports, man, good luck in your coming events, competitions. We're always rooting for you. As always, go Heels, go America for the football team.
Gotta be Iceland in that junior Olympic gold medal.
For the football team, man, let's keep it going, man. We got a nice streak going. We're bowl eligible. Let's keep building. We got 2 more games to finish. Let's finish out 8-4, get into a better bowl game, and we let's see where our chips fall in. But I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking for the defense to keep having that impact. I'm looking forward to seeing Omarion continue to run wild, and hopefully we get some more receivers involved, man, so they can get in the end zone as well. And the reason I bring up the receivers is I know a lot of them want to get their hands on the ball and score in honor of Ty Lee. So I want to see them do that. So let's continue this magic and finish this.
Baby, we'll see if Omarion can get 200 yards in back-to-back games. That will be something.
Right.
He's probably still frozen in place because he's so beat up from Saturday, but we'll see what happens. Speaking of Saturday, just want to remind you that I will be out of town tomorrow, and so we will have no live post-game after the game happens. So don't tune in because it won't be there. I apologize, but definitely next Saturday after NC State, we're going live after that one, so be ready for that. And we'll do a bunch of lives after Maui this week. Of course, those games are late, so Tuesday morning, we're actually going to go live Tuesday morning to unpack the Dayton game from Monday night, stuff like that. So, folks, if you haven't subscribed to the show on video and audio, make sure you do that so you don't miss a second of Locked On Tar Heels. If you haven't joined the Locked On Tar Heels Discord community, man, it's a great, healthy place for Tar Heel fans to come and be and hang out and chat. We're doing it all day long, all the time. It's so much fun. It's free to join. The link's in the show notes. And if you want to go even deeper with Locked On Tar Heels, you can become a Locked On Tar Heels insider, where you get to text with me one-on-one, free access to a whole bunch of my stats and data and other perks. That link is in the show notes as well. Y'all, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk to you again on Monday's show. But until then, Searcy, my man, tell them what's up.
Peace.